don't know if you've seen it, but there's a meme going around the internet right now. It's a picture of Ben Affleck, and he's leaning against the wall. He has a cigarette in his right hand, and he's looking down, just thoroughly disgusted at the very moment. And underneath the photo, it says, "When you are almost out of the pandemic, but World War III is about to begin." I looked at them like, oh my gosh, I can so relate to that. And we're going to be talking about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and how it affects your digital life. And it sure does. I mean, let me tell you, the scammers will be pouncing on this and trying to steal your money. And then there's this whole major worry, and it's a big deal, about a cyber attack. And will the Russian hackers strike again here in the United States? We're going to get to all that. But first, welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to America's largest show about all things digital. That's right. It's the most trusted source. And of course, it's the Kim Komando Show, and you can find us on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And we're always streaming in your favorite radio app, and you can find us streaming as a podcast or as a webcast whenever you want over at getkim.com. And a special thank you and salute goes out to all of our listeners of the Kim Komando Show on the American Forces Network Radio. I love this. 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries. And yes, 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. And of course, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And once again, that T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is 1-888-825-5254. And I'd like to thank GoodRx for helping to make this show possible. And if you're thinking about breaking some bad habits, let's start with this one, talking about overpaying for your prescriptions. Instead, what I want you to do is do what I do. You want to check GoodRx to find the best price for your prescriptions. Let me tell you, I used to just visit one pharmacy, not knowing that prescription prices can vary by pharmacies by as much as $100, maybe even more. And let me tell you, I was paying too much. Now I always check GoodRx to find discounts, and I compare prices at all my local pharmacies, and it's so easy using GoodRx. It's free to use, and it works whether or not you have insurance. GoodRx can often beat your copay. So what I want you to do is head over to this special site, goodrx.com/Kim, or of course you can use their app. It's accepted at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide like CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, and more. So for simple, smart savings on your prescriptions, go here. Go to goodrx.com/Kim. That's goodrx.com/Kim, goodrx.com/Kim.
GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance. In 2021, GoodRx users saved an average of 79% on retail prescription prices.
All right, let's start this hour with what you need to know about technology as it relates to this past week's event, where Russia, of course, invaded Ukraine. And let's start by me telling you a story. It's winter, the snow, cold, freezing temperatures. You have your radio turned on, and the headline is big on your favorite news sites. America's largest pipeline that has been in continuous operation for the last 57 years has been hit by cyber attackers, and it is shutting down. And the pipeline's huge. It supplies gas up and down the East Coast. It's 5,500 miles long. It can carry 3 million barrels of fuel per day between Texas and New York. Now, within just a few hours of the pipeline being shut down by the cyber attack, you go to the gas station to fill up your tank, and there's like this really long line. You're like, what's going on here? And then you start seeing signs on various gas stations, including this one that you're at, and it says, fuel low, we may be out of gas soon, we don't really know what's going on. And then, of course, there's always the fist fight. Somebody in line is mad at somebody else because they think they cut them off, and they say, I got there first. And so with the gas supply going down and demand going up, what happens with prices? Of course, prices go up. So the president declares a state of emergency. They've got to get that pipeline back up and operational. A week goes by, 7 long days. Try as they might, they cannot bring it back up. And then a note appears from a Russian hacking gang that says, pay up, pay the ransom, and we will give you the pipeline back. 5 days later, the pipeline's turned back on, 2 weeks down. Sounds like a Hollywood movie, but it's not. It actually happened about a year ago, April of 2021. And there are other pipelines across the country, and hopefully that they're being all locked up. But let's go back to now something else. How about the power grid? And also to 2021. It's February, cold weather, storms. They took the Texas energy grid offline. There was no power for 4.5 million people. Wow. 60 people died because of it. Now, Russia had nothing to do with that. That was just nasty weather. But it really shows how vulnerable our power infrastructure is despite all of this tech and engineering and networking that we have around us. Now, you may know, maybe you don't, that Russia cut power to the Ukrainian homes back in 2015. So here in the U.S., we have three distinct power grids. I actually had to look this up. There's the Eastern Interconnection, a huge zone of synchronous, they say, AC power. That's basically North America east of the Rockies. Then you have the Western Interconnection, which is most of North America west of the Rockies. And then you have Texas. Of course, they have their own separate grid. But what could Russia do? Could they take down our power grid? And could they cripple us for years, they say? I mean, it's been estimated to take us at least 5 years to get back all the money and everything that we lost if the power grid were to go really out. And what would you do without power? Really, how would you live? It's really frightening to think about it, isn't it? Now, consider another convenience of modern life. The GPS, right? Runs off of satellites. We are so dependent on GPS. How do the police, how do the fire, the EMTs know where you're located when you call for help? Well, it's technology. It's a GPS. Your apps and your phones and your devices use GPS too. And you want to hear something really frightening. And I don't know if you know this, but in November of 2021, this is just 4 months ago, folks, Russia sat there and they said, we have some decommissioned satellites up there in space. And just for kicks, I just wonder if we shoot a really special missile at that satellite, could we just blow it out of existence? Could we just knock it out of space? Well, guess what? It worked. The folks at the International Space Station, they were freaking out because all this debris from this old Russian satellite that they busted up in space was going past their windows. And now there are reports that there is data wiping software hitting computers and networks in the Ukraine. Entire banks, entire companies are being wiped out. All the records, think about this. The processes, the data, the customer records, it's all gone. I mean, they're hacking with software that would just take down entire enterprises. And let's talk about the internet. There's this map. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's online. It shows this huge, complicated network of undersea cables, which keep the internet running, and it's all spread entire the world. And there's a percentage. 97% of all intercontinental traffic is handled by these undersea cables. And you want to know who's taken a really keen interest in looking at all these cables, and they're sending their military subs to just go take pictures and take a look at it and start writing down longitude and latitude and reporting all this data back to the home. Who is Russia? Yes, that's the Daily Double. And here's the exact quote from a retired U.S. Navy Admiral James Stavridis. Russian submarine forces have undertaken detailed monitoring and targeting activities in the vicinity of the North Atlantic deep sea cable infrastructure. I don't think they're just tourists, just saying. Now, let's move on to our cellular networks. Pretty vulnerable, too. What if your phone didn't work? No calls, no apps. Texting would probably work, though. More about that later on in today's show. And the folks in Washington, I don't think they want everybody to know all these facts. I mean, nobody's really reporting about how dependent we are on technology and what would happen. I mean, I don't think they want us to freak out, but we're really not in a happy place. And things could get really bad for us quickly. I mean, the next time that you're out and about, I've done this. I want you to really look at the people around you. Do you think that those people could handle being part of a war? Do you think they could handle if the power grid goes down, their cellular networks, the internet? Could they pull themselves up and stand to the occasion of defending our rights and freedoms? I mean, if you want to thank a soldier, a serviceman or woman, a vet, now's the time to do it. Because I don't know if we have a lot of people in this country that could handle a few hours, but they couldn't take a selfie for their social media accounts or hang out on TikTok. I mean, let's just face it, our society is not the same one who banded together in World War II. We've grown soft. We have. We now have two generations who've never lived in a time when there were no video games. Millennials, born from 1981 through 1996, and Generation Z, born 1997 through 2012. They both contained a large subset of what is called the Nintendo generation. And here's the effect that they're having on America. As kids, they didn't play outside, they didn't ride their bikes, they didn't run around very much. They played video games in all their free time. And as young adults, the military says, this is what they say, that they're weak, they're fragile, and they're prone to injury, especially in boot camp. And there are others, some with physical handicaps, and there are others who are, believe it or not, functionally illiterate, meaning that they can't read. Some have a criminal history, but in all, they say almost 80% of all young Americans 17 to 24 are now considered unfit for military service because they were part of the Nintendo generation. They played video games. That's what they did. And because they were so sedentary, they don't have a lot of physical strength right now. They don't know what it's like to run up a hill. They don't know what it's like to swing and then get on a bike and play outside. And maybe they did sports, which was fabulous. And maybe that's the percentage of people who are actually qualified for military service. So coming up in this Kim Komando show, I put together some special tips for you. Okay, the whole show is not going to be focused on Russia, Ukraine. I get that. But it does affect your digital life. And that's what I want to impart to you. I want to give you knowledge because knowledge is power. And I'm going to give you that knowledge to protect you, your family. And you really need to prepare right now for what may be coming down the pike. I mean, I know you're sitting there saying, well, that's Kim, that's far. That's like 6,000 miles away from us. Yes, it is. But it's going to affect you. It will. Maybe it's just gas prices going up. Okay, it's spring, gas prices always go up, but we are in the middle of inflation that we haven't seen in 40 years, right? I mean, we all know this. This is important information for you to know, share with your families. There's no joking around with this, right? So you want to stay right where you are. And I have to thank CarShield for helping to make this show possible. Don't you wish fixing your car was simple? Cars today have so much technology, and then that really the first spaceship that landed on the moon, it's guaranteed something's going to break. And I love my car, but I don't want to have to replace it, especially now. And that's why I have a protection plan through CarShield. When I need a repair, I choose the mechanic, and CarShield administrators, they just take care of the rest. They even provide rental car options, roadside assistance, trip reimbursement, all at no extra cost. And getting coverage is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, you want to contact CarShield for your free quote. 2, tell them all about your vehicle. 3, choose the type of protection that you need. And whether your car has 5,000 or 150,000 miles, CarShield has options that fit your budget. That's right, they do. You can get coverage today. Go to carshield.com/Kim or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Kim or 800-391-8888 to save 10%. A deductible may apply. All right, coming up, we also have a handful of great tips, like in just a few moments. How do you stop your exes from showing up in those photo memories? So annoying. I'll tell you more about that. And of course, we're going to start all of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, if you're too shy for the radio, if you ever have a question for me, or if you just want to reach out, the easiest and best way to do it is go to the homepage at Komando.com, and over in the right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. How about we start this show with Gary in Jefferson City, Missouri. Hello there, Gary.
Hi, Kim. What a pleasure to talk to the digital goddess. I can check that off my bucket list now.
Well, thank you, Gary. Awfully sweet. What's going on? How can I help you out?
Well, we live out in the rural area with our 2 dogs, Digger and Kiwi. And earlier this month, we heard some noise out on our porch, and we went out to check on it, and there were 3 puppies cuddled up in the corner trying to keep warm. I think somebody abandoned them.
Oh, my gosh.
So we took them in, put them in the garage, fed them, watered them. The next morning, we went to check on them, and they absolutely destroyed my garage. So while we were cleaning that up, I lost track of my dog, Kiwi.
Okay.
And we lost her for 2 days.
Oh,
and
my
it
gosh.
was the most horrible experience we ever had. On the next morning, my phone went off, and it was a prayer answered from God. It was a neighbor over a mile away said, "I think we have your dog."
Oh, thank goodness.
So we went and got her. Everything's fine. But I understand there are tracking systems for dogs, and that's why I'm calling you. I'm looking for any information I can get on that.
So what type of area do you need? How far do you need to be able to track your furry family friends?
Well, the nearest house to me is about a quarter mile away, and I live on a couple acres.
Oh, okay.
And we're surrounded by trees, so we got acres of trees all
Okay.
around.
All right.
And if they get in the woods, I can't see them.
Yeah, see, this is what here's what I was thinking, is that there are like pet trackers, and I have one, it's called Fi on my golden retriever, because I love Abby like a child. I do. I mean, I love that dog. And I actually have an Apple AirTag on her as well. But in rural areas like where you're talking about, what you want is a different type of tracker, okay? So you can find and you can locate your dog, especially when we're talking about quarter of a mile, couple of miles away. And we're going to look at, and I'm going to give you some links to one made by Garmin, and then another one is made by a company called Dogtra. And these are primarily made for hunting dogs, okay? And if you think about it, hunting dogs, they have to go through the woods, and you can track them up to 4 to sometimes even 9 miles when they go out.
Wow.
You can set up geofencing, and so if any of the dogs go past a certain geofence that they get, it's like almost like a needle will get to their neck. I mean, it's just a little little buzz, so they know, oh, I can't go there.
Oh,
okay. And
okay.
so it's not going to hurt them. It's just a little tiny buzz. That's it. And so, yeah, they have all these different capabilities, because if you're spending $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 for a hunting dog, you want to make sure that you can always find that dog. And then they come with a handheld, almost looks like a little radio, two-way radio. And so let me point you in those directions. If you need to track one dog, then we're talking about this Dogtra Pathfinder. If you want to track multiple dogs, Garmin has something that can track up to, believe it or not, 20 dogs. That's right. And so I'm going to post some links over to these, Gary. So anybody else who wants to check them out over inside the Komando community. So you go to komando.com/community and then hit the link that says the Q&A forum over on the left-hand side. And that's where I post links. So this way you can always find out exactly what I'm talking about. Stay right where you are. More of your calls coming right up. Hey, this portion of the show has been brought to you by Epson. Small business owners, wow, don't compromise on your color printing. Meet Epson's EcoTank Pro. It comes with these big ink tanks and just a ridiculous amount of ink. The Epson EcoTank, just fill and chill. Visit epson.com/EcoTankKim. All right, just want to pass a quick little tip before we go back to all of your phone calls, is that if there's a certain person that you stop from popping up in your photos memories, I mean, we all have that person, 1 or 2 or 3. Maybe it's your ex after a bad breakup, or maybe it's just too soon since a loved one, or maybe a pet has passed away, and you want to be reminded of the good times that you shared. So here's how to hide your photos, but you're not going to delete them. Let's start with Google Photos. What you want to do is tap your profile photo and select photo settings, and then go to memories, and then you're going to hide people and pets. And you're also going to see a grid. You can mark those people who you'd like to hide. You can select a date too. Maybe you'll be ready to see all those photos in, say, 6 months. Now, if you're using Apple Photos, go to Albums and People. Pretty much the same deal. Select the person, and then you select Feature This Person Less. And it's really very easy to do. Which reminds me, this is actually, I do read every single email that I got sent. So Donnie in LA sent me this email. He said, "Hey, Kim, my ex texted me, wish you were here. But here's the problem. She does that every single time she walks through the cemetery. What do you think that means?" Sorry, Donnie. You'll have to figure that one out all by yourself. All right, back to the phones we go with Kaylee in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Hi there, Kaylee.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome. What's going on?
All right. So I'm about to start nursing school, and they just told me that I will need a laptop for nursing school, but I cannot have a tablet one, the 2-in-1 with the tablets. Okay. And I'm just curious, what would be the cheapest but the most reliable option for laptops?
So why do you want to go to nursing school?
Oh, because I love working with people. I love helping people out. And, with all the stuff going on nowadays, it just seems like a good field to go into.
Oh, very much high in demand. Now, are you going to get your bachelor's, or what kind of degree are you going to get?
I'm going to get my bachelor's in the field of nursing, so I'd leave with my BSN.
And then is there an area that you want to specialize in?
I haven't quite decided yet. I'm thinking possibly geriatrics or pediatrics. I know that's like two complete
yes, I was going to say. It sounds the same, but it's not. Okay, it's just. Well, the reason why I ask is that we've got a few nurses in my family, and my niece in particular. She has her bachelor's in nursing, and then she went and got her master's in nursing from UCLA, and then she became a nurse practitioner. So she has a lot of education, but I'll tell you, she's doing really, really well salary-wise, and she loves being a nurse practitioner. And that might be something that you might want to look at, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's talk about it. So you don't have a lot of money. How much money do you have?
Well, I was hoping to keep it fairly low, but it just depends on how good the computer is. Because if it'll last me a few years, I can put in a little bit.
So, like,
more.
you gotta give me a baseline. How much?
Oh, okay.
Like
Let's try and keep it.
Keep it where?
Keep it probably 500 or under, maybe.
Okay. All right. 500 under. All right. So here's the deal: is that for 500 and under, there are some really good laptops that I think will last you for some time. Okay. And because you're going to be going to school, you don't want something big and bulky, right? You don't want anything that's really, truly heavy. But you need to have a decent screen, say 15 inches, right? So you can see it and you can have multiple tabs and windows going. It's going to run on Windows. You need a decent battery life, right? 7 hours is good, don't you think? So they take you through most of the day.
Yes, ma'am. As
far as weight, maybe 4 pounds. 2-in-1, we're not going to have. We're also not going to be able to really get to that price point with that. What's also nice about some of these laptops is that when you get home, you could, if you wanted to have a bigger monitor, you could just plug the laptop into a bigger monitor, so it will support an extra monitor. And, the processor is going to be decent. You're going to get like 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Now, what we have at Komando.com is about halfway down, a little bit more on the homepage. There's something called a laptop finder quiz. Okay, that's where you can say, I want to spend, 350. I want to spend 500. I want to spend 1,000. Whatever. Because when people want to buy laptops, Kaylee, is that they really are geared more towards how much that laptop's going to cost, right?
Yes.
So as you are starting out on your career, is that what's always important that when you get to a position, Kaylee, I want you to always remember this, okay? When you're not there yet, but when you get to a position where you can help somebody out and where you can give them just that boost that they need to maybe not worry so much about something, or you can impart some piece of knowledge to them, okay, that you do that. Okay. And because you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be doing that, like you said, either with young people or with the older generations, right? And so I always want you to just keep that in the back of your mind. And what I call them, and I've called them for years, and are like random acts of kindness. You do something unexpected for somebody, okay? And so what I'd like to do as my random act of kindness for you, and you're going to promise me you're going to give it back to somebody someday soon, is I'm going to send you a laptop for you to go to school, okay?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, so what I'm going to send you is an Acer Aspire. It's a slim laptop, and I'm going to send it to you. No strings attached, okay? Other than that, you're going to make me a promise that you'll always remember this, and if you can do a random act of kindness for somebody else, that you'll do that.
Yes, absolutely, I will.
Okay, all right. So here, Kayla, I'm going to put you on hold. All right. And keep me posted with your progress. Call me from time to time. Let me know how you're doing, all right? Don't be a stranger. Don't ghost me. Promise?
I promise.
All right. So I'm going to put you on hold, Kayla. We're going to get your name and address and all that other good stuff. We're going to send you out a laptop so that this way you can go be the best nurse that you can and you don't have to worry about paying for a laptop. All right, let's go ahead and do our digital privacy tip. And it's brought to you by Total AV. With the countless threats on the internet, from phishing sites to password-stealing malware, you might think that the more security you have, the better. Well, these different programs can serve different purposes. And I have to tell you this, you should only be using one antivirus program. You don't want to stack more than one. It just causes a whole bunch of chaos. That's why you just need one powerhouse. I recommend Total AV's industry-leading security suite. It's easy to use, and it offers the best protection in the business. In fact, it's received the renowned VB100 award for detecting more than 99% of malware samples for the last 3 years in a row. And this protection covers up to 5 of your or your loved one's devices under a single plan. So whether you're on a Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android device, just install the easy-to-use app and you're protected. Now, I've negotiated an exclusive discount for my listeners. Right now, get an annual plan for only $19, but you have to go to this address, protectwithkim.com. That's over 85% off the regular price. Remember, it's just $19, and that's up to 5 devices. So you want to go to protectwithkim.com today. That's protectwithkim.com. All right, I put together this list because whenever there's an event of mass impact, the hackers, the scammers, the thieves, they come out of the woodwork, and they try to take advantage of the situation. So I put together a list of 10 Russia-Ukraine war cons that you're going to be seeing over the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks, for as long as this lasts, and even after it's over. So let's go through the 10 really quickly, and then I want you to make me a promise, okay? Wherever you hang out on your social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, you name it, is that we really need to empower the country. We need to tell everyone around us not to fall for these scams, because they make it look so convincing. And especially if you have older folks in your family, I want you to share this link out to this post with all of them. Okay, and just say, hey, I just thought I'd run this by you. Okay, you're not going to offend them. Knowledge is power, right? Okay, so there are at least more than these 10 scams, but I tried to cover the most obvious and the ones that you're probably going to see first. Number 1, help, I'm stuck here. Okay, sometimes that's called the grandparent scam. They say that, I need to get out of the country. I'm stuck in Russia, the Ukraine. I don't know how I got here. I need money for a ticket. I can't find my driver's license, whatever it is. Okay, and they claim to be a family member. If that happens to you, call them up. Number 2, we need your support more than ever. Okay, fake Red Cross, GoFundMe pages are going to start popping up. Okay, the real tip-off is going to be the URL. Make sure that you actually type in a URL. You just don't start clicking around. Number 3, but it looks and sounds so real. Okay, deepfake technology, audio, video. Maybe you'll see a supposed video of Biden or Trump or Putin or somebody in the Ukraine. Okay, before you believe it, make sure that you do your research. And you remember, disinformation is made to look natural. And these videos are now using paid actors. They are in CGI technology. Number 4, I've got money, lots and lots of money. It's a twist on the Nigerian prince scam, only they're trying to get the money out of Russia or the Ukraine. 5, things are going to start popping up and say, inflation's rising, the stock market's going down, your 401k is going down. I can help you because I know how to time the market. Don't fall for it. Number 6, if I could just give my loved one a proper burial. No, we're not paying for funeral expenses for somebody in a foreign country. Don't let your emotions take over. Number 7 is you might get a note from an American soldier, supposedly, military family, saying they need money for supplies and food and rent, or whatever it is. No. Number 8, do as I say or else. You might get some threatening note from the IRS or from somebody in government, somebody in Russia, Ukraine, whatever. Okay, it's all bogus. Number 9, it looks so legit. Fake apps are going to start appearing in the app stores. Watch out for those. And finally, number 10, I will love you till the end of time. Russian, beautiful Ukrainian women are going to say, oh, help me get out of my country. I love you. I just need money for medicine, for rent, for my parents, for an airline ticket to come see you because I love you. Okay. Spoiler alert, you're never going to meet him in person. For links to all of these, because again, I want you to share them out with your social media, family members, and friends, just head over to Komando.com, and when you're there, hit the link at the top that says Kim Show. We have more of your phone calls coming up, as well as later on this hour, secrets to making the tech spam stop here on the Kim Komando Show. Tell you something really great that's happened to me. We purchased a home in Los Angeles in the area for Ian to use while he's at college at USC. I figure it's better to buy a house with the real estate prices going up and accelerating so much than just throwing money away for rent for him. It's a fixer-upper, and you know what that means. You have to find good quality people who actually want to work and do the job the right way. Because I'm telling you, the front and backyard, total mess. I mean, yeah, I could Google landscape company, but trust me when I say it's a really bad idea because scammers are just waiting for people to just type things into Google. Instead, I used the Angie app. Let me tell you, it's fabulous, so easy. You just put in your address, describe your job, and then you arrange meetings with the companies to describe your project, and then you get bids from all of them. I had 5 different companies contact me within an hour of saying, I need to find a good licensed bonded landscape company. In a few days, I selected the contractor for the job. I couldn't be happier. Let me tell you, he's doing the front and backyard. He took Ian to a tile place like this. Not a Home Depot or showroom, but where contractors go to get the lowest price for tile for the front porch. Okay. Love this. Guy sends me texts. I got a video this morning of the work that he's doing on the front porch. Angie takes all the hassles and frustrations out of getting the right people to do things around your home. Previously known as Angie's List, Angie connects you with top local pros who can help with home projects, big and small. And I just love how it saved me so much time, and it made getting these projects done stress-free. Instead of spending hours just on the web with reputable sources, looking for them, I'm instantly matched with top pros in my area that can help with a specific project. You can search reviews, you can request quotes, you can book and pay, and all just a few taps. And for hundreds of those everyday jobs, Angie will give you the clear upfront pricing. You can find pros and fair pricing for any project: appliance repairs, roofing, home cleaning, gutter, pest control, fence repair, even remodeling projects. I mean, Angie is the trusted home improvement source that can help you. Home projects have never been so simple. Don't wait to get your projects done. Make your home an Angie home and check out Angie.com or download the free Angie mobile app today. That's Angie.com or download the free app. All right, back to the calls we go with John in Rock Island, Illinois. Hello there, John.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for taking the call. I've enjoyed listening to your show over the years.
Thank you.
And I have a question that relates to a Quicken program that I use for my checkbook. And I used to very laboriously reconcile my checking account every month. And when I found the Quicken program, this was back in about 2004, I thought it was wonderful.
Sure.
Because not only would it really help me do the reconciliations, if I made an error, I didn't have to make corrections serially down the line. The computer would simply just make all the corrections once I made the correction. And then it allowed me to categorize my spending, how much I paid for groceries, how much I paid for gas, and things like that. So everything was fine. Program's working great. And then my MacBook Pro died, and that was in about 2018. So I had to get a new one. And when the gentleman who transferred my data into my new MacBook Pro set things up, he couldn't transfer the old Quicken program.
Well, that's because they
got another one.
So everything everything got pushed into the cloud, John. And so we're running. I want to make sure we have time to answer your question, though.
Okay.
So are you looking for a Quicken alternative right now?
Yeah, I'm looking for a Quicken alternative that I can transfer the data I already have into, and I don't have to have a subscription fee for it.
Okay. Let me give you 2 options. Okay. One, it's an open source program. And it's called GNU Cache, and that's GNU Cache. I'll put some links up on the website, but it's called GNU Cache. There's another option that I'm just going to tell you about. It's called personalcapital.com. Okay, it's absolutely free, and everything happens on the web. the way that they make their money, because nothing's free, right, John? Okay.
Right.
The way that they make their money is that if you start trading stocks or doing something like that, start importing your 401k, your retirement, whatever it may be, is that they're going to start charging you transaction fees. Now, GNU Cash is absolutely free. It's open source. There's no charge. So you might want to check that one out first. And simultaneously, you might want to look at just personal capital if it's maybe something that you want to start adding some of your other financial accounts in. But if it's just basic accounting, home checkbook, budgeting expenses, and start seeing those pie charts, GNU Cash is going to set you up too. John, thank you so much for your call. Coming right back, a quick tip on how you can make the text spam stop already. You're on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, I'm going to do ExpressVPN. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like taking a call on a speaker for everyone to hear. You don't know who has access to your most private, sensitive information. You can get an extra 3 months free right now at expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, so you're getting text messages, and you're like, what is going on? Now, keep in mind, these delivery notifications are spreading like wildfire. Now, if it's a legitimate company, maybe it's somebody you recognize, a restaurant, politician, you can just reply with the word stop. Now, if it's clearly spam, you can forward the message to 7726. That actually spells spam. Or you can get an app called Text Killer. We've got links to these in case you want to check it out over on the website. But stay right where you are. We have another jam-packed, fun-filled hour of the Kim Komando Show coming up here on the West Star Multimedia Network.